What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Real Talk podcast. Here at Real Talk Studios, we are now sponsored by Vicious Energy Drink. Now, Vicious was very nice enough to give us a sample of their work, so let's give it a shot.
This is their new blend. The secret ingredient is Pedro Pascal's ball sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to the Real Talk podcast, episode 78. I'm your host, Nathan, and I'm joined by the man himself, Matthew Neves.
Thank you.
To my left.
Ooh.
And today, we are going to be talking about Disney.
Oh yeah, Disney.
And answering the question, what the fuck is Disney doing these days, man?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people enjoy Disney. I know a lot of people like movies from Disney. I get it, because they own everything. They own like 99.9% of every single thing.
You gotta like something from Disney.
Yeah, because it's fucking infected everything.
Because it's everything now these days.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. To start off, what the fuck is going on with these live action Disney remakes? I'm getting real tired now. All right.
Why? Why? You know?
Stop it. Get some help.
You know?
Clearly, they make these live action Disney movies for money because the animated films already did its job in telling the story, and it's beautifully done. I can give you every single example. Hold on, how many fucking Disney live action remakes have they made so far?
And they only pick fucking classics to remake, and it's never as good as the animated versions. So it's
Exactly.
just kind of an obvious cash grab. Like, I don't like that.
A lot of people have these well received. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I just found out they remade Cinderella live action.
I didn't know that.
Right?
What year did that come out?
That came out 2015.
Damn.
Yeah, they've been doing this shit for a while, and it makes money. What's another one? Cruella, is okay. I don't know. I watched it. I was just like, okay, Emma Stone's having fun, but like,
Cool, yeah.
kind of forgettable. Mulan. I mean,
Didn't see that.
no. That's the thing with like movies in this category. The best parts about it aren't just the characters, but the animation.
100%.
Yeah.
It's what Disney is known for. It's what they're the best at.
Oh my God, they did a Lady and the Tramp movie, which, like, well, why,
Bro.
I wouldn't even count that as live action. If the fucking dogs are CGI, that's not fucking live action. That's just three. Oh my fucking.
I mean, it's the same shit with Lion King, right? It's like, is the live
that was a big debate too. People thought that was live action. I was like, no, that's not how lions talk.
Yeah.
Lions don't fucking talk. What am I even saying? Lions don't talk.
Yeah, show that's not how lions talk.
Like, I was even dumbfounded. Like,
Lions
what?
don't have that accent.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
unrealistic.
Yeah. They would not have that accent. All right, listen. Here's the thing. When I see a lion, it doesn't sound like James Earl Jones. All right, I've tried, guys. I recorded it for 10 hours. They said I was insane. They kicked me out of the fucking zoo. I don't care.
Yeah.
Till fucking Aladdin. Oh my God.
That
Remember
one, that one like was talked about a lot. How much money did that movie make? It
Oh,
definitely made money.
I'm saying $1 billion.
Like how many times did you see Will Smith as that blue fucking genie?
It was the meme. I think
was the meme. It was such a meme.
You know what it was too, because it came out in 2019. A mere 5 years ago, Robin Williams passed away. And this is what I fucking hate about movies nowadays, is that there's a sense of like, we got to make it as soon as possible, even if the fucking actor or actress passed away with the
Yeah.
role. I hate that. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But because it's Disney, and oh look, $1 billion. Yeah.
$1 billion.
They don't care.
Is any of these live action Disney movies better than the original? I dare you to show me one.
I'm gonna look for one. Wow, they did an Alice in Wonderland. I forgot. That's my least favorite Tim Burton film. The live action Alice in Wonderland film.
Oh, that movie was ass.
That is probably my least favorite. It's it's one of the ugliest films I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It just looks like they threw up on the screen. It's like, yeah, that's the color grading I want.
It's so forgettable.
Oh my god.
That movie sucks.
But in terms of a movie that's better live action version than its fucking animated, I'll be honest, it's been a while since I saw the last Pete's Dragon movie, the animated one.
Me too.
It's
I
a
have to go
very
back.
it's a very obscure IP from Disney.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
wouldn't be surprised if the live action was better. In that
Okay, maybe
regard.
one of those obscure IPs. Yeah.
But like one out of 20, 19 so far. They've
Yeah.
made 19 or 20. I think the Little Mermaid's going to hit the 20. So, yeah.
Yeah, and a reason why we're talking about this is, of course, the upcoming Little Mermaid movie.
Mhm.
Another one. It's
Another
like
one.
there's no way it's going to be better than the original. I just don't see how it could be possible.
That's the thing too. Is like I think Little Mermaid was because I always looked at Disney's films, the animated ones, as like different ages. So like for me, Golden Age was like Snow White, and I think the Golden Age ended probably when Walt Disney passed away. So I'd
Yeah.
say Jungle Book was his last. So
Yeah.
that's a great 30-year era of beautiful animation. And then they had a Silver Age, which I would say Little Mermaid is what started that. So you get Little Mermaid, you get fucking Aladdin, you get Beauty and the Beast, Lion King.
Great movie.
Fucking Lion King, man. And I feel like the Silver Age kind of weared off a bit with, although amazing films, I would say they have their own resurgence cult wise. Atlantis, Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet.
Yeah,
It's
man.
a deep cut.
Treasure Planet is amazing. Like fucking Tarzan and Hercules.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. And then Brother Bear was probably like the tail end of the Silver Age. And now the Bronze Age, there really isn't any 2D. Like Princess of the Frog's the last 2D animated Disney film that came out. And the rest is all 3D. So nothing against 3D, but
I
come on,
love 2D animation.
bring back 2D.
What's wrong with 2D animation? It doesn't look bad. It
No.
ages amazingly.
Yeah.
It's going to age better than these 3D movies because that tech's always changing.
What do you mean? There's such classic Disney CG films as Chicken Little. Remember
Yo,
Chicken Little?
Yo, hold up. Hold up. I'm not going to let you disrespect Chicken Little.
Chicken
bro.
Little, come on.
I'm not going to let you disrespect Chicken
on.
Little because is it a good movie? No.
No,
Is it one that I have a lot of nostalgia for?
same. I do.
I even played Chicken Little on PS2.
Yes. Oh man.
Chicken Little, the game is fire. Chicken Little, the movie is fire.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna let you slander Chicken.
There
Little
are
on this podcast.
exceptions. I will understand that. Like Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah,
Nobody
another
ever
banger.
nobody ever talks about that one.
That's
I
a
think
good one.
that's an early one from Disney.
Wow, I haven't thought about that movie in a long time.
Right? That's a
The
good one.
Robinsons.
Yeah, Meet the Robinsons was a good one, but that's what I mean. A lot of those films, and I think Disney was aware of it. They didn't make any money. Like Atlantis and Treasure Planet, like flopped. They flopped hard.
Nobody ever talks about Treasure Planet.
I wish. Well, hey, spread some love from the podcast, Real Talk Podcast. Watch Treasure Planet. It's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, I remember. I have the Monsters Inc. on VHS, and that was like my childhood movie, right?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, they play like a couple of trailers,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them is Treasure Planet, and the Planet trailer is epic. Like,
Yeah.
I just remember thinking, wow, this movie looks so good. And then I finally got to watch it as a kid, and I loved it.
Yeah. As a kid, I always mixed the two up. I always thought Treasure Planet was. Remember Tiny, the Matt Damon? I'll show you. I'll
Oh.
show you because they're both sci-fi related, but like they both came out around like the 2000s. Look, let me show you. This is it. Tiny. I always got this movie
Oh.
confused with Treasure Planet. Both are pretty solid films. Nobody ever talks about either because they both flopped.
Let me see the animation.
It's like this.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
looks
yeah.
kind of like Treasure Planet.
Right? Dude, and it's like Matt Damon's in it. He's one of the
Matt Damon.
Yeah, pretty solid film. But that's what I mean. Disney kind of gave up on going for that originality. Again, Pixar's the exception. Pixar is its own thing.
Yeah,
they're
I
doing their
don't-
own thing.
Mhm, that's their own thing.
Have a better track record, in my opinion. Whereas Disney,
Of course.
yeah,
Pixar, like even now, is still
even yeah,
the pinnacle of these animation movies, right?
Right.
Even though maybe they've slipped and kind of gotten a little unoriginal, but
Yeah.
I think they're still the gold standard.
yeah, exactly. But not as much as this. With me, Disney, like the 2D animation, like after those two movies flopped, and I feel like a couple others underperformed, they're like, all right, fuck it, we're not doing this anymore. And it's insane because they've been like Snow White came out in 1937. They've been making consistent animated films since then.
Yep.
And the quality shows because it's like you got to give passion to a lot of these like animators. And I get it. Look, a lot of people like Big Hero 6. A lot of people like those films. They're not bad films, but spread some love to 2D animated films once in a while.
I agree.
No harm in that. We haven't gotten one in over 10 years.
And I don't think I've never heard anybody be like, "Oh, that's an outdated like medium," like it just holds up so well.
Yeah.
Like you said, the first Snow White came out in the 30s.
Yeah.
It holds up. The animation doesn't look bad.
No,
It
not
holds
at all.
up extremely well.
Fantasia is better than most fucking animated films coming out today.
Uh-huh.
Because it's just like you have that authenticity to it. That's really amazing.
Yeah, this distinct style, right?
And
2D films definitely need to come back.
Yeah, and they're clearly focusing on obvious movies that they know are going to make profit because it's so hollow, like the Little Mermaid film. They're just focusing on that, and it's very sloppy. You could tell. You could tell how sloppy it's getting, especially with that Pinocchio live action film. We talked about
that one
on the
was tough,
podcast.
eh?
It was one of the worst fucking movies I ever saw.
And also, what was the need for 2 Pinocchios to come out in 1 year? Didn't Del Toro come out the same
Del
year?
Toro made one. That one won an Oscar, though.
No, that one was good.
Yeah.
But like, they know that both of these movies are in production, probably at exactly the same time.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's such a weird
Stretch
marketing
it
from
out.
Disney.
It's Pinocchio. Like, just stretch it out or put out the good one. Like, I don't know.
They wanna keep their characters in their theme parks like relevant still.
Yeah.
So like something like Pinocchio, everyone knows Pinocchio, but imagine like maybe a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. They're like, oh, who's that? It's just like, well, even if they haven't seen the animated film, they want to be like, okay, well, you can watch the animated and the live action, and notice how Pinocchio looks the same in both. So it's okay. You can watch both. You can't tell the difference, and it's like, come on, like we know what you're doing, Disney. Come on.
I think I read that Guillermo del Toro's going to do. Sorry, this is a little bit of a sidetrack.
Yeah, no worries.
But I read that he's going to do Frankenstein.
Oh, fucking A. Yeah, that's a good one.
If
Del
anybody
Toro?
can be trusted with the Frankenstein IP and to bring back a proper monster movie,
Yeah.
I think it's Guillermo del Toro. I think I could already see him holding the. I could already see him on the stage, man. I think he's a
Yo,
genius.
I hope Ron Perlman's in it. I think he is. He's been in almost all the Del Toro's films.
It says here Oscar Isaac,
Okay.
Mia Goth, and Andrew Garfield in talks for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Seems like it's still in the
Ooh.
early stages.
Okay. I could see that.
But yeah, I wanted to mention that because I heard that recently, and I think that's
Mhm.
he's the man for the job.
Oh, fucking A, he is. That's another thing too. But like going back to what Disney's doing, it's like the innocent times of 2014. Was it 2014 or 2013 that Disney bought Star Wars? Remember that time?
Oh, that was big news.
Holy
And
shit.
I hadn't seen Star Wars then.
Really?
And I remember I had like one like English teacher who was like a big Star Wars nerd, and he was talking about how it was a really big deal, and I was like, yeah, I guess people like Star Wars, and now I kind of understand. Like,
How fucking weird. Because like for me, I remember seeing the original 6 episodes and then hearing that Disney bought Star Wars. Because in my head, in my fucking mindset as a 13, 14-year-old, I'm like, well, they're done. They did 6 episodes.
yeah,
Because I remember telling my dad that, and he was like, no. Lucas made ideas for the other 3. I'm like, what other 3? He's like, he said after Return of the Jedi and then after the prequels, or I think it was after Return of the Jedi in the 80s, he's like, I'm going to do prequels, and then I'm going to bring back the characters from the original and make 7, 8, 9. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I thought they were going to bring those stories again, but apparently there was some
right. So
fucking-
that news was kind of like well received because you think they're going to use the Lucas scripts, and Lucas probably wasn't going to do them. So
No.
it's like okay, like at least we're going to get to see these scripts get made.
Yeah.
George Lucas's complete vision,
Mhm.
and now backed by conglomerate like Disney. Right?
Well, that was the thing too, which was also weird. Dude, it feels so fucking weird. Like 2013, the fan base versus the fan base now of Star Wars is so fucking different. Because like I remember people were like, "Oh, thank God Disney bought it. Now they can make good shit." Because Lucas made the prequel movies, and I'm thinking, oh, well,
Isn't it funny how time just changes the perception of
Yeah.
like 10 years can do to like a trilogy?
yeah, it's insane because like oh my God, The Last Jedi too. When that came out, people were fucking polarized as shit. You either loved the film or fucking hated it.
Right.
And there was this subcategory of people that were like, bring back George Lucas to redo episode 7. Like that was a mindset that fans had. And it's like you can't comprehend that there's a Star Wars film that you just don't like.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. I think you guys didn't like the prequels like 5 years ago. Now you fucking hate this film even more.
Yeah, and now the prequels are a lot more well received. I mean, you see with Obi-Wan coming back, how big of a deal
Yeah.
it was and how excited fans were, right? It's like if Obi-Wan was coming back 10 years earlier, it might have not been too so exciting. Or even McGregor, I mean.
Right. Well, because we grew up with the prequels. We were like growing up as these films came along. So it's like the reception of the I Hate George Lucas prequel group. They were like our age when the prequels came out. So
Right.
their perception is wholly fucking different than ours, where we grew up with fucking Dave Filoni working on the Clone Wars show. It's like the lore grew so much at that point that it's
100%.
like, yeah, your fucking fan base is gonna be different.
Yeah.
Hence
Yeah,
why.
and different shows had different tones.
Yes.
Clone Wars had a different tone, and especially now we see it with a show like Andor, which is like this dark tone that almost doesn't feel like Star Wars at all, but still works. And it shows that Star Wars is this, I mean, one of the best ever built out universes. Like the possibilities are endless. They can make hundreds of Star Wars movies in that world.
And that's coming back to Disney, because now we're here with all the knowledge of what the fuck was happening in 2013 to 2015 of like, okay, so you have this biggest IP sci-fi franchise. How are you going to plan this out? The answer, they kind of didn't. They kind of just had J.J. Abrams say, hey, just make this the safest Star Wars film. Get all the audiences in. You don't have to answer all the questions.
Yeah.
Leave them for the sequels.
Just make the same movie.
Yeah.
And make it new.
Yeah.
Make
Which
New Hope again.
isn't bad. I think it
No.
was a solid film, but the issue
It's not
is
bad.
the issue is when you bring another director in who doesn't know what the fuck you wanted the questions answered to. It's like for example, you have the questions and the answers of your own experience, and there's like, hey Nevis, yeah, here's the question. Good luck answering it. I'm not gonna give you any hints. And then I answer it, and it's the wrong answer for you, and everyone's like, well, what the fuck's going on?
It's broken telephone.
It
It's, I don't understand how you make a trilogy and don't set one director, especially Disney, and especially Star Wars. Everybody knows. Even before I'd seen Star Wars, I knew who George Lucas was.
Yep.
I knew this was George Lucas's baby. This was his vision.
Yep.
Even before I had seen it. So it's like, how are you gonna be like, we'll put one director this day, this movie, and then we'll switch it here? It's like, you need to have a singular vision for these type of movies.
Yeah.
You need to have it.
Yeah, and I look, I'll give respect to Rian Johnson for doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Especially for something like Star Wars. I mean, dude, like he got a lot of shit for that movie.
And I think Rian Johnson is talented. It's
Yeah.
not a reflection of Rian Johnson. I think it's more of a just Disney was unprepared, like you
Yeah.
said. They did not think it through very much.
which is why the last one in the trilogy is, in my opinion, the worst aged. It's aged like milk.
It's the worst Star Wars movie.
Rise of Skywalker. Because I remember
Obviously.
seeing it in theaters. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I mean,
You almost try to convince yourself that you've liked it after
Yeah.
the first watch, right? You're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's how it concludes, and so you want to like it, but you don't.
because my least favorite before then was Attack of the Clones. Because I was like, oh my god, the dialogue's bad, everything. I just not a fan. But here's the thing: there was a consistency in terms of characters, in terms of motivation, and in terms of continuing the story.
A proper arc in the prequels.
Yes.
You can't deny that there's a good arc in the prequels.
Right. With Rise of Skywalker, I have never seen a bigger retcon in a big franchise like this in my life.
It still pisses me off to this day. Somehow Palpatine has returned. They literally had the balls to write that in the script.
Holy shit, man.
Like when
Yo,
he said
they fly now. They fly now. It's like shit dialogue like that. And it's cause they looked at the fan reaction, which, let's be honest, every time you get fan reactions right off the get-go for any film, whether negative or positive, is sporadic. It's very much like, oh shit, they didn't like Snoke. Okay, they like Palpatine, right?
yeah, and I get it. The fans like legacy characters. I love to see legacy characters in Star Wars too. I'm not gonna lie. Do I get excited when I see fucking video game Luke Skywalker and Mandalorian? Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Is it a little bit weird? It is, but I get excited.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I know that the fans love legacy characters, but we had some legacy characters in these new movies. We had Luke Skywalker, which I think they butchered rudely. You had
Yeah.
Han Solo, which unfortunately they also butchered rudely. It's like they butchered all the legacy characters that we like, and then still thought they needed to add more. Like, oh, the fans. It's like
There was a lot of potential. I think I said a lot of shit about the sequel trilogy, but I do have positives. One of them being Rey and Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
I
great
like their
characters.
characters.
Kylo Ren especially, I think.
Yes, Adam Driver and fucking Daisy Ridley. They gave out amazing performances. I would have wished they did more with Oscar Isaac and John Boyega. To be honest, they kind of just threw them around during the trilogy. It's like shit, okay, whatever. But as it stands, it's not the worst thing ever. But I understand both sides. Not the most extreme negatives and extreme positives, but I understand where people are coming from.
How much longer before you think they try again? Give me a projected year. The next Star Wars movie comes out.
2026 is
Whoa,
Old
that's a little
Republic.
soon.
They're doing Old Republic. They're going to do the Old Republic movies. I don't think they're going to go any further past Episode 9. And if they are, you're not going to see any of the characters from 7, 8, and 9. It's going to be a whole new cast regardless of what happens. Because they want a clean slate. Oh, well.
Maybe you see Grogu.
That'd be nice. Grogu turns into Yoda by that point because he's fucking old now.
We were talking about that earlier, I think, with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Eventually, we got to see Grogu grown up, right?
It's gonna happen.
When the fuck is that? Like I get it. They're gonna milk this like baby Yoda, like merchandise shit because he's adorable. I think he's adorable.
Right.
They're gonna milk that for all it's got, and I don't think we're gonna see it anytime soon. But eventually, we got to see an arc of this character, right? You can't just be goo goo gaga,
Yeah.
lifting up random shit,
Yeah.
for his whole like. How much longer can they do that?
No, exactly. It's also crazy too, because like I'm not gonna go too much into the Marvel stuff, but like even the early stages
we've
of
shat on them enough.
I know we did. Hey, I'm sorry, fans of Star Wars and Marvel, but sometimes they fuck up. Like, and they can do better.
They can do better.
For example, how Disney handled Marvel for the early stages, especially with Endgame and fucking Infinity War. It's kind of crazy because they came out the same time as the sequel trilogy, and it's like they really prepped up that shit really decently for the most part.
A well thought out unit. That part of it was like, all these movies were. Everybody, all the fans felt like they were leading up to something big. You'd go see them all so that you followed this story until this peak Endgame, right?
Yeah, and then after the peak, it was like Plankton and SpongeBob. I was like, oh, I didn't think I'd get this far. Shit, I guess we have to make more. And it's like now we can see that Disney doesn't really know where to go with that franchise. They're trying to fix what they're doing with Star Wars in the film category. I think the shows, they've been consistent quality-wise.
I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, Star Wars is in great hands with those guys. You need to give those guys the keys to the IP to do whatever they like. They need to be heavily involved in any film that you guys consider doing. They understand the essence of George Lucas's stories, I think.
Oh, absolutely. They've consulted with Lucas.
I mean, Dave Filoni worked with Lucas for years and years, and he really, I'm sure he's gotten the opportunity, and if he hasn't, can still call George Lucas and ask him anything about these characters and how he sees them. So those are the guys to do it, man.
Yeah.
I think it's in good hands with them. I just worry about Disney, man. Disney just knows how to fuck up a good thing.
It's because they're growing too big, like we spoke about before. I mean, they bought off 20th Century Fox, now called 20th Century Studios, and they've had so much shit on their hands that recently I read an article about the first quarter of Disney Plus. They lost a ton of subscribers to the point where I think the CEO had to lay off 7,000 employees.
Wow.
It's because they've been so fucking high up that anytime that they go down, this happens.
Right.
The amount of people that lose their jobs, and it's just like, oh shit, we're not making $5 billion, we're making $4.9 billion.
Right. It's sad to
It
hear
is.
stuff like that. But do you think Disney Plus is the major like reason that Disney's kind of shifted their focus to quantity over quality?
I think the streaming services are changing as we speak in terms of where they're putting their money where they're putting the money now. Because, with COVID, they had a lot of opportunities to get a lot of money out of people, but now that's kind of changed.
Yeah.
Now people are getting used to it. Now people are, filming it normally like before. Hence that reason, Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, all these platforms are going to show a profit that isn't as big as before.
100%.
So it's all up to Disney on where they put their money, if it's movies or shows.
But Disney, I think Disney. I think the Disney mindset is they cannot lose the streaming wars. so they're gonna put quantity on their service. That like that, I think that's what they're focused on right now,
Yeah.
right? They bought Stars and all these things like. Like the Kardashians is on Disney Plus, and it's like
Yep.
they're just going quantity over quality. Like buy up as much shit as you can, and we're Disney. But it's like Disney loses their identity that they used to have when we were coming up.
There was a point where Disney was almost close to bankruptcy or maybe like losing like a lot of money. It was around the 80s when they took a lot longer to make these films. They transitioned to a new CEO. A famous example would be The Black Cauldron, which came out in 1985. The film flopped, and they're like, "Shit! Like we don't know what to make anymore. We don't have any live actions up. We don't have any animated films up, and they're not really that memorable." It wasn't until Little Mermaid, I would say, that they came back. So I think to summarize what Disney's been doing is like, because of how much money they're making, the King of the Hill can only come down.
Right.
They're coming down, and they need to learn from their mistakes. And the fix up is not, hey, let's make Avengers 55. Hey, let's make another live action Disney film. No, let's try something different, like a 2D animated film, or maybe another Star Wars film, or maybe something original. I like the direction they're going with Pixar. I feel like they can do better with their other IPs.
100%.
But at the end of the day, it's just too big, and it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth whenever I see the amount of fucking movies they have on their belt.
They've truly lost their identity. I think it just seems like they're just like some studio, or like some, I don't know. They're just
It's the Apple of the movie industry.
right. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. It's like Disney used to have an identity,
Yeah.
a fan base, and now it's just like, yeah, you gotta like something that Disney owns.
Yeah, there's nothing like distinct of it. It's like, I don't
Yeah.
know. We talked about it before. Are we ever going to get like a Treasure Planet type movie from Disney? Even Tron Legacy. That came out like 10, 12 years ago. I love that film. And it was distinct
Yeah.
from the other shit that was happening. It's like, I don't know.
They gotta try new shit. They gotta stop trying to stretch Indiana Jones.
Fuck that.
Shit like that.
Fuck that.
Like they gotta try new shit. I really like the idea of going back to 2D animation. I miss watching a good 2D animated movie.
Yeah, I'm fucking down for that. I love it. But hey, Disney will make money regardless. Go to their theme park rides. This is funded by ABC, ladies and gentlemen. Real Talk Podcast. ABC is a co-founder of Disney Channel, Disney Company. Bob Iger, please notice us.
I mean,
so
yeah,
you
I
can
feel
give
like
us money.
I feel like once we get to like 1,000 subs, Disney might make us an offer.
Oh, I hope
They're
so.
buying everything.
I'm gonna make an offer you can't refuse, Nathan.
We're gonna be like the real Disney podcast. We're gonna be like, yeah,
We have Mickey Mouse hats. We have Goofy shirts, and
we love Indiana Jones. We can't wait for the next one.
Yo, Indiana Jones 6, great movie, man.
Great
movie.
good.
Nathan is like, no, Nevis, that didn't come out yet. Oh shit! Great movie, regardless. Oh,
We
damn.
will conclude it there.
Yeah.
Disney, we love you, but fix up and find your identity again. I think that's the main takeaway here. Is
Yeah.
you need to find your identity again.
Make a Chicken Little too.
Make a Chicken Little too.
Nathan and I will watch it.
I'll watch it.
We'll watch it in 3D.
Fuck, make a video game. I'll buy that shit too.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Real Talk Podcast. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We will catch you in the next one. Take care and brush your hair.
Peace.